Good morning. So today is October 9th, and wanted to make it aware that it is October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I've done a couple videos and I haven't been 100% on them. I guess in the sense of like I'm ready to post them. So working through that. My goal is to help get this some fluff. It's not even fluff, it's weight. It's so much weight off my chest or out of me. Like it's and two, yeah, is appropriate answer. Two is to pay it forward. There's been so many people that I've come across their blogs and posts and just even memes, like just acknowledging that there's a fight, to get your life back and to, deal with the demons inside of you. Not that I believe that there's actually demons, but you know what I mean? Like it's just to help with the process. So with some of their posts, like I'd probably be in a really dark place. So again, hopefully this touches somebody or reaches out to somebody in a positive way, and help them out as much as others have helped me out. So first and foremost, my name's Ashley Galetta. I'm a firefighter. I am a coach at a CrossFit gym here locally. It's on my shirt. Been an athlete. I've been a dancer, classical dancer, ballroom dancer, coach. I've been a swim coach. I've been a softball coach. I've been volleyball coach. There's so many achievements I've had, and I feel like I've always been very motivated and self-aware, and just like I thought I knew I had a path I was traveling down, and obviously there's been some things I've tried and not failed at, and so forth and so on, but not once was I not pleased. And then to top it off, I'm a mom. Love my girls. Ice on the cake right there. They're my rock. I gotta get ready to do PE with my oldest here in a minute. Good thing for virtual learning. But with the highs, like there comes lows. And with that being said, I was a victim of domestic abuse, and admitting you're a victim or a survivor, like it's so demoralizing, and Fisher, so demoralizing and belittling. Like I said, you feel like you have your life set, like you got this path, and things happen, and you get in this dark place, and you start talking to a therapist and advocates and things, and it comes to light, like the situation you're in wasn't your fault. Like you were abused, and to acknowledge that you let that happen, like you being so strong-willed, regardless of your type A, B, C personality, no one must ever confess that shit like that happened to them. Like that's not okay. You think survivor, you think like somebody triumphant, like cancer, like beating cancer, or surviving a hurricane in a paddle boat. Like it's like, I don't know, to me a survivor just has like a triumphant meaning to it, behind it. Staying on top of a mountain with a sword, just I survived. And granted, there's times where you look back and it was survival mode, like you were trying to survive your day-to-day routine. To me, that was just like a cruise control. That was just, you're coasting, or I was coasting. And I don't know. It's it's definitely a hard pill to swallow, to acknowledge that you've been a victim, the survivor. I don't know, I consider it escaping. I didn't endure, the stuff you see in the movies where you get held down or pinned against a wall and beaten and clothes ripped off. Like, it was more psychological and emotional, and the manipulation of a wife, like what your duties are. Just this mindset of like, you need to kind of do as I say when I say jump how high at any given point. And there was I pushed back first, and then it was just, then if I pushed back, I was a bad person. Like, I was the one that was wrong and not him, and that's not okay, to spin that shit on me. So my domestic violence occurred in the form of marital rape. And again, like, you think movies, you think thrown on a bed and clothes ripped off, and like that had been so much more acknowledgeable. Not that I wish that had happened, but it had been black and white. Like, yes, that happened, but it's taken therapy, lots of advocacy, like talking with other people to acknowledge that even if I say no and it still happened, like that's not okay. Even if he wanted it and I didn't, and it was conveyed regardless if I said not tonight, not in the mood, not feeling it, like any notation that said I wasn't ready, and he still continued to push the issue, like that was rape. And like I said, it's just shitty to acknowledge like your situation. You thought like you were in this marriage and in this relationship, and you thought that that's what this like intimacy was. Like, it was just the long-term relationship status where you have your honeymoon at first and it's all fun and games, and he's a SEAL, so he was in and out of town all the fucking time. Like, so the honeymoon phase kind of never really subsided, but there did come a point where he was home a lot more, and it became a routine. I don't know where the turning point was. I don't know. I could say it's postpartum stuff with the kids, and I'd always said, maybe I should get my estrogen levels tested or check my hormones, because again, I was being told that I was not a good partner for not wanting to have sex all the time. I wasn't on his level, so it just it beat me down. Like, it made me feel like shit. Like I was the one causing all this tension and all this animosity. I mean, we can go days not even talking to each other, and somehow he'd find the way to either roll over and climb on top of me or come from the other room, because there was times when we were separated in our own house, and he would, again, like I said, we wouldn't even talk, not even text. And for some reason, that was an open invitation to come in my room, climb on top of me, even though I made it clear, like, I did not want sex at all. And he continued on with his back. It seemed like it was a challenge to him. Like, he was on a mission to flip the switch. Like, she's saying no, I'm gonna keep trying to persuade her otherwise. So some fondling and groping and kissing, and I'd sleep in clothes and he'd take those off, and none of that ever changed my mind, because I was so sorry in the mindset of no, like, I didn't want it. And so he definitely made me feel like it was my fault. And that's what's infuriating. Like, to believe that even though I put out no, like, this isn't happening. Your yes doesn't trump my no, like, at all. That sucks. There's no, like I said, there was no intimacy. It was just, he had to have sex, and I was not a fan. Like, it made me want it less and less and less and less. I despised it. Like, I got good at faking orgasms, faking everything else with him. Like, not even just him, just, faking people, faking family, faking it with, the notion that we were this happy family. Like, you wake up in the day or in the morning and, sit there and gotta give yourself a pep talk in the mirror. It's just, like, you're gonna get through today. This is who you're gonna meet today. Like, you gotta make sure you got a smile on. You can't be mopey. You can't, definitely around the kids. Kids were my rock though. Like, when he was gone or work, like, we do everything together. And I think that's why I guess I was somewhat okay with the situation, was that I got to do any and everything I wanted to with the kids. Like, I could, be a stay-at-home mom with them for the most part. And go to the zoo. We had passes to Busch Gardens. We had passes to the aquarium. Like, just exploring with them and just being us, like, three of us. Like, I wouldn't trade for the world. Like, that again, like, that was my reason. But no one should live like that. Like, dreading coming home because he's home, or dreading the days that he's to come back home. And it sucks. It sucked. I don't know. It was definitely a rough couple of years, few years. I'd say the last like 3-4 years of roughly a 10-year marriage, 10-year relationship. And I guess it became a routine. Like, kids go to bed, I'd have a nightly routine. I'd try to rush through that to get in bed and hope to like fall asleep before he could catch up to where I was in my routine. That would just prolong it. Like, it wasn't even, I don't know, it wasn't even looking back, it wasn't worth it. Like, obviously he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and it's not right. Like, it's crazy because they've noticed as a thing. I left him for another man. He had his infidelities and wasn't home when he was home, so got lonely. And I started wanting to have a connection, and I was in oddly enough, like, everything within my marriage and life that I could really gave two shits about started falling apart. But like, the stuff I wanted, like, it was coming in place. A job, finding someone who like recognized who I was, like, inside, because obviously I'd put on a good facade for a couple years, and appreciating my goals and my drive to better myself and better the situation for my girls, and which my ex wasn't supportive of at all. He damned me going into the department. He damned me for trying to split, and obviously tell me I can't take care of the kids, I don't make as much money, and again, trying to manipulate it to where he was telling me I wasn't good enough. I would never be able to provide for them the way he can, so they shouldn't stay with me, and all this other stuff. And he had me believing it for a hot second. He had me believing that shit. So, it's so infuriating. But yeah, like I said, my life, the fake stuff finally just broke. That was, and then, like I said, the things I truly wanted and needed and strive for, like, they just kind of came together the right moment. It was emotional. It was so emotional, so stressful, and of course, you got outsiders and insiders trying to coax you one way or another, and it took a hard, not a hard pill, but it took a good stand to tell everybody to fuck off and let me work through my shit. And I'm so grateful how it turned out. I got a great guy. Can't sing his praises enough. Dealing with all my shit with my ex, and obviously trying to get our lives started together. Even family doesn't even appreciate, I wouldn't say appreciate, doesn't even acknowledge what's happened. And and that's another thing that's kind of been hard, is that you tell people, like, you're trying to get this shit out of you. It's such a black, heavy weight inside of you that you can't, it won't go away. And the only way you can get rid of it is by talking about it and getting your story out there, because it just sits inside of you and it eats at you. It eats away your happiness, and it just gives you anxiety and just drags you down. Like I said, it's so heavy of a weight. So trying to tell people and it's not like you're trying to flip them people to go around and start rumors and stuff. It's just, it just has to get out. Like when you tell someone, like, you're pregnant, or you got a big surprise, and there's something inside you eating you up. That's the same feeling, but it's not as pleasant. I promise you, it's not as pleasant. And it takes a lot of balls to come out and say, hey, like, this was my situation. This was going on. I had for years. And I mean, I understand he's the father of my kids, but I want nothing to do with him. Like, it's just, I have no room in my life for that anymore. And he's just as less as possible. And family doesn't acknowledge that at all. They still talk to him, still, I don't know. And you would think that they would at least have your best interests in mind, or at least your, I don't know. I feel like if I came to them, or they came to me and said, hey, that guy's shady, like, you shouldn't collaborate with him, and I feel like I'd heed the warning. But again, that's another pill. Like, you can't expect everybody to accept your story, and that's okay. Like, come to terms with saying, like, that's okay sucks, but it is what it is. Like, I've got to control, like, what's in my bubble. Me, my kids, my relationship, like, these are the variables I can control. I can't control them out there. So, friends, family, like, I can't, and it's okay. That is okay. But I'm not going to associate with you because I need that part of my life as far outside the ring as I can push it. So, that's all I gotta say on that. Allergies. else. Therapy has been a godsend. Like I said, like this wouldn't even come to light had I not started therapy. And you know, Laura, she's my therapist. She's amazing, and she calls me Shug. Shug, you were a victim, and it's not okay. And you know, these are the things that I'm hearing, and so Google being the, you know, glorious thing that it is, like, it's just a rabbit hole went down when it came to being exposed to marital rape. And it's, these stories are just absolutely atrocious, but the women articulate them so eloquently. And I mean, kudos. Like, I'm not a blogger. I'm not editing this shit. Like, I couldn't tell you even how to cut it, stick it. But there's been some stories that I've come across that are just so spot on. Like, it is like she was watching from the window, like it, and it's like, oh my goodness, like that's another thing. Like, you feel so alone. Like, you know, no one's ever talked about marital rape, so it's like, well, it must not be that big of a thing. So maybe it was just me. I mean, maybe it's all in my head, or maybe it's, you know, not as big as it seems, but it is. It's so much bigger than what you can imagine. And like I said, if you get online and you just start looking into the stories and going down the rabbit hole, there's so many websites and organizations that offer safe havens or just someone to chat with, whether it's via phone anonymously or you know, chatting online. And I promise you, you'll find stories that are just relatable to your situation. And so it's good to know that you're not going through it alone. Shitty though, obviously you don't wish that upon anybody, but another, you know, kind of weight release off your chest is to, you know, say, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Especially in this COVID shit. Like, being locked up in your house all the fucking time is awful. And obviously you can Zoom with your therapist, which is what I do. It's great. But you need social interaction. You need to be able to, even if you're in the same room, like, be able to see the emotions and the distraught on people's faces, and you can't with the mask, and it's just a shit show. So COVID's definitely put a extra weight and derailments on things, and just that's all I can do is do the motorboat notes. If you're military, like I said, there is Fleet and Family, and I can't sing their praises enough. After you know, talking with my therapist, I reached out to Fleet and Family about you know, domestic abuse, and I got in touch with some advocates, and they have been amazing, absolutely amazing. And I can't, again, their praises, spend all day talking about them. They're great. I get an advocate. They help me. They gave me venues for the girls if anything ever were to, you know, go south with them, and pamphlets and groups, and just so, like I said, that you don't know this stuff's out there. There's just such a box of like different things you can do to help yourself, and it's been amazing. And they helped me with NCIS, and NCIS was even equally amazing. Like, they listen, they document it, they check in on me. Again, ombudsman's, again, like, just there's and it's crazy because they knew where to point you, and they knew how to guide you, and so clearly, like, they've been through this, and they're there to listen, and they're like, and they tell you, like, I believe you, regardless of the outcome of the investigations. Like, I believe you. Like, you're not the first, you won't be the last, sadly, but just having people acknowledge almost made it. Acknowledge that they're listening and they hear your pain. Yeah. So to hear someone genuinely say they believe you, that's huge. So ugly crying. Well, I guess I'll end on that. But again, this was for me. Obviously, I've been doing therapy and talking with advocates and stuff, and I still felt like there was something inside of me, and I felt like October was a good time to kind of say, all right, get your story out there. Maybe you can help someone as much as the last group of girls, or my little bookmarks on my phone and my computer, like, they're just growing because I'm finding stories and blogs and, just data that you find, and it's so overwhelming. But again, it's refreshing to know you're not alone. So hang in there. Please reach out if if you need anything. I'll listen. I don't know if this will be a routine thing or not, but hopefully this isn't even to get likes and follows or subscriptions. Like, I need it to get this darkness off my chest, and I'm just hoping, like, the bonus part would be that I pay it forward and help somebody else in the long run, as much as other women have helped me and not even know it. Okay, so maybe till next time. If not, I'm here to listen.